Did you imagine back in 1980 when you started the grain company that 20 short years later, you'd be out of the grain business and into the trucking business?
Not at all. No, I didn't. And I would say that most good things that happen, in my opinion, aren't that specifically designed. They just evolve, and it just sort of happened. And as I spent more time with it, I enjoyed it, and I saw where I could add some value and collaborate. And we tried to get the best people we could to help run it. And it just keeps, like everything, you just keep throwing a little, what I call encouragement at it, and some assets. And yeah, we're about 250 trucks.
That's amazing. And 250 trucks and growing, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we are. But right now, the markets are pretty tough in our industry, so we're just sort of getting our spikes in the ground. But yeah, we're continuing to grow a little bit.
What's behind the culture of H&M? You guys have a lot of drivers that have stuck around for a long time, very experienced. Every driver that I talk to talks about the culture and why they like driving for H&M. Those reasons are pretty consistent. It's always said that it's because they feel like family at H&M and not a number. Can you talk to me a little bit about the mindset behind that and how you guys propagate that culture?
Well, I think that the thing that we do is, first, you got to just simply do what's right. And you can't look at the manual totally on yes and no, although it's important you have the similar protocol, but you got to do what's right. Number two, if somebody calls and we're swamped and don't have time and say we'll get back to you in 20 minutes or the following day, it's imperative that we do that. There's nothing worse than someone saying, I'll get back to you, that doesn't. I just can't emphasize that enough. I believe those are really the two things that are key to me. And but just getting back to doing the right stuff and just hard sweat, scratching and biting and just making things happen. It's really not anything unique to any business. It's all businesses are that way. Just go for the little things and the big things evolve.
For sure. No, it really is eye-opening to me, because another thing I hear from a lot of the H&M drivers is they talk about other companies dangling sign-on bonuses in front of prospective drivers, which is not something that H&M does. And what the drivers tell me is, you know what? I've figured it out. I'm hip to it now. If there's this sign-on bonus dangled in front of you, you can know that you're not going to be happy at that company. And I don't know that that's, that stands true across every company that offers them. What I do know is that when your drivers get to H&M, they get through orientation, they get out there on the road, they feel valued and they feel like they are, as I said before, part of the family. And I just can't, I can't say it enough how many times that's come up on this podcast. And to be a fly on the wall in that situation and just see from the outside in how this all comes together is really cool. And I got to tip my cap to you, Randy, and everybody there at H&M. It doesn't seem like 43 years is long enough to build H&M Trucking up to where it is right now. So phenomenal job to you and everyone involved for coming from where you came from.
The thing that I feel good about is I think a lot of the drivers, when they come in for orientation, are truly surprised that it is the way it was described over the phone. I think a lot of times they go to companies, and once they get there, they're very disappointed that it isn't the way it was stated over the phone when they were heard about a potential company.
Yes, I agree with you. And that's another thing I've heard before. A lot of bait and switch going on out there. And that never is a formula to make a driver happy in the long term, in my opinion. But let's not forget, I'm a podcaster, not I don't run a trucking company. So
right, but I think that's true, and that's true.